Welcome to the live stream, everybody. I'm Megan Fox. Thanks for being here. Tonight, we have yet another episode of We're Here. One of us is queer, and we're sick of this shit. Welcome to the program, Mike Harlow, my friend, the best commentator ever.
Hi, my love. Thank you for making this ever so more tolerable.
But is it, though? Is it tolerable? I don't know, but at least this time I have alcohol. Drink.
Oh my God, I don't. I need some.
How did you not get a drink for this? How are we supposed to get through period talk without alcohol? This bloody show is the worst bloody show in the world.
I have so many questions about tampons.
I have to be drunker for that. I can't with the show.
It's mind blowing. I keep saying it every week, but who is this show for? What is the intended audience?
I don't know, but I
think this might be the rare occasion where even the fucking woke people hate it. I think.
They do hate it. Here's a perfect example. Check this shit out. Okay, this is one of the comments that I got today on one of my multitude of videos because I can't seem to stop making them. And Love It Udabor says, I agree with some of your points, especially on the outfits and how much I cringe. Che is non-binary and goes by they, them. If you can call someone by a nickname, it shouldn't be a big deal using a pronoun of their preference, and it shouldn't make you uncomfortable, especially since these are fictional characters. Hey, Love It, fuck off. You're new here. You must be new here.
Hey, Love It. How can I put this? Let me just to clarify, let me make this clear. Over my dead body, is that happening? Over my dead body, will I call a singular person a they, them?
Yeah, it's never happening. And also, don't come on my channel and tell me what to do and how I should feel. It shouldn't make me uncomfortable. It should. Who are you to tell me what makes me comfortable or uncomfortable? Like, fuck off. Get out of here.
Denial of reality is something that should make everyone uncomfortable because we're seeing the results of it now. If we would have stood up to all of this shit years ago, we wouldn't be in this situation in this country and in this world. We allowed the denial of reality to spread. And no, I think I call it the war on reality. And I think that every single person needs to stand up and be bold and be empowered and fight the war on reality. That is a woman, and I will continue to refer to her as a she, woman, female. She has breasts. She has hips.
And we've seen them. She's stripped down. We saw it. So come on now. Come on.
It's insane.
It's enough.
And
it's enough.
This is how they chip away at reality slowly, is that they, we thought we would have flying cars in the year 2022. We're at a point where we can't even say what a man or a woman is.
I know. Oh, don't pay any attention to the stupid music. Hold on, I have to pause the music. There's stupid music. I have this little slideshow. Oh, shut up. I don't know why it does that every time. I have this little slideshow of all the potty scenes from this season because we've had all these gross scenes in the toilet and in the bathroom. I almost think that these writers are trying to tell us this show is shit and watch us make you watch it. Like she's talking about diverticulitis. Oh, look, peeing in a bottle. I mean, how bad is this show?
It's funny though, just the last thing I'll say about what we were just talking about. It's funny. I just yesterday came across, somebody sent me this clip of some podcast I was on in 2019, and I was talking about this issue, and this was not all that long before COVID. And I said, if we allow these people to just bully us into accepting a reality which by every metric is false, what false depiction of reality can they not bully us into?
Yeah, they can do anything.
We're now seeing exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, they can do anything. They can make us say anything, believe anything. And there are people out there like this idiot who like, love it. There are people out there who are new to my stream or new to my channel who think they can bully me into conforming to this nonsense, and I'm sorry, but that's not happening, ever.
Absolutely not.
Just a little announcement for those of you listening. The last time we did this, I was so excited that we got super chats because I've never got that before on my channel. And then YouTube took them all away from me because they
What?
they gave us a copyright strike and everyone got their money sent back. So tonight, I promise not to do anything to get a copyright
Oh,
strike.
I'm
And
sorry. I didn't know they do that.
yeah, I didn't know either, but I found out that they do that. If they
Wow.
copyright strike your video, they take all your super chats back. So look, super chats are open. If you guys are enjoying the show, we would appreciate the tips. But good Lord, YouTube is so awful sometimes. I'm actually surprised I haven't been shut down yet. They're letting my videos trend and I don't know why.
Yeah, I see you get recommended all the time. I'm shocked.
I know. They must not have figured out who I am yet. That's all there is to it.
I think it's maybe actually as the other tech platforms have gotten worse, I think like YouTube seems like not that bad in comparison to the other ones at this point.
Oh, that's interesting.
At
Yeah, I
least for
don't
me,
know.
they left me
I
alone mostly.
I need to find my oh, here it is. I gotta put up the pictures. Oh, that stupid music again. Hold on. I can't seem to make a slideshow without it putting stupid music on it. So these are the screenshots from episode 9. And, if anything jumps out at you, Mike, that you want to talk about, personally, I think Anthony has carried this entire
Yes.
season.
Yep.
He's been
He's
the
the
only
only one with
one.
the personality.
He's the only one that made me laugh. Like this, looking at him in this outfit, like I am still laughing at this. I just love his Hot Fellas Bread Company. I could
He's
watch an entire show about this.
he's old too. Like he looks good for his
He
age.
does. He does.
He's 62. I thought he was like 40.
I know. I know.
Damn, I
I
need
know.
his surgeon.
No, but he does look really good. Like, how come he's the only one who aged like well and like they made him look good and okay, he doesn't look the best in this outfit. It is a little funny on him. But why how come they did what they did to the other characters by aging them so badly? And Cynthia Nixon, Miranda's character does not need to be all gray. She would look so much younger with her red hair back. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, I feel like you get the face you deserve, and she deserves this Party City wig. Like to
The
me,
wig
it's not
is
the
so
hair
bad.
is the least of it.
It's so
It's a
bad.
reflection of her on the inside.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. And and her teeth. I never noticed this issue with her teeth before, but it's like, did she grow up in England or something? I don't understand why we have these teeth in 2022. Although remember in Sex and the
I
City
that's
she
the
had
one.
braces?
Oh, that's right. That's one thing I can't falter on though, because I have teeth also that makes it look like I'm on meth. So I kind of feel a little bit bad for her in that
Yeah, but I
one
never noticed it in the other series, like, ever. Like, for instance, I just rewatched Sex and the City movie, the first one, and Miranda looked amazing. They made
Mhm.
Cynthia Nixon look amazing, and there was never a moment where, like, there was a teeth thing going on where you never saw that. I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe she was in an accident or something. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
I really think though it's nothing compared to her character. And I think Anthony is probably Anthony, and I saw somebody said Natasha also. Those are the only two where I think there's any sort of through line to who they were, being even remotely in the same universe of being the same person.
And now this is this is a good comment from Teresa. She says, Anthony's the only funny one, as you said, but I have major issues with what they did to him. He was Charlotte's friend. Yeah, exactly. Why all of a sudden are we supposed to believe that he's Carrie's friend? It doesn't track.
Uh,
Like you can just switch gay
Teresa, you're
people. You can switch
forgetting.
gay friends. Are gay friends like you can loan them out?
Oh, to these people, they're very interchangeable to white liberals. But Teresa, you're forgetting one thing. It is Carrie's world, and we are all just living in it.
Yeah.
We are all just her side characters.
Yeah, we every time we come up with Carrie is a selfish bitch, drink.
Boom. I have a soda. I'm gonna drink.
And she really is. You're drinking soda? That's just sad.
I
Just
I know.
sad. But last time,
Looking
by the
like
way,
crazy.
last time we did this, I got so drunk and I got a major hangover in the morning.
Ah,
And I had to still get up and make my kids lunches and get them on the bus. So that I cannot do again. I'm
you
on
are a
light
freaking
beer.
super mom.
Yeah, super mom, hungover.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
that's
And
wild.
yeah, this is a good question too. How come they've never mentioned Magda? Good question. Magda,
Because
maybe she
she's the help.
died,
She's the help.
but maybe she
Don't
died.
you
She
don't
had
you
a
get it?
role in that
Help.
in the show.
They don't give a shit.
All right. So
Care
were
about
you
Magda. Magda was
surprised?
probably the only decent person. They don't give a shit about her.
Were you surprised that the show opened? And remember the last week's show, they ended it with Miranda in the car, like, I'm in a rom-com, Carrie.
Mhm.
And she was going to Cleveland. Were you surprised that when they opened the show, she's sitting in a freaking cafe and she's not in Cleveland and we never hear about Cleveland again? We don't
Never
know
even
what.
mentioned.
No.
Never even mentioned. I was so hoping, and I think most of us were hoping that she was going to go to Cleveland, get to Cleveland, and get shot the hell down. Like I was sitting there cheering, crush her dreams, crush her dreams.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I want Miranda to get her comeuppance
Well,
so bad.
we all
I don't
thought that
think
she was
that's
gonna
going to happen.
walk in. She was gonna walk in. She was gonna like show up. Oh, I was for sure that they were gonna be doing a comedy concert in Cleveland, and we would have to sit through that bullshit again.
Oy. Oh,
And then after the show, Che wouldn't see Miranda, but Miranda would see Che fingering some other chick in the corner.
it was.
Oh,
Oh my
but that never happened.
god.
We just get this weird scene in a diner with these.
Ugh.
Okay, so then there's these people. We are supposed to believe that this person, Che Diaz, is so popular that people just fawn all over her everywhere she goes.
Ugh.
It,
Ugh.
and then do you remember what these two were saying? Oh, you fucked my friend. Hey,
As
you
if
fucked
that's
my other
normal.
friend.
And it's normal. They act like this is fucking normal. But that's
Like,
the thing. I was saying this last time, but it's like because this person is working overtime, trying so hard to give this impression of I'm not a woman, that she's doing this like ridiculous imagined caricature of what a man is. So men like to just fuck everything and talk about who they're fucking and be overtly sexual. So she thinks that that's being masculine, but it's not. It's just being an asshole.
it's just being an asshole. Can you imagine being out like with, first of all, these people who came up to her, they knew she was with a girlfriend because Miranda said she was her girlfriend, and then they sit down and start talking about who this person fucked? What?
Because
Like,
they're
who
the
wrote
same
this?
people. They're the same people.
It's so bizarre.
But
It's
yeah, I think
so
those of us
bizarre.
were hoping for Che to crush Miranda's dreams. Like that's, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they would be allowed to portray a non-binary in any sort of negative light. Like the negativity is only coming from the people who watch it, but it's they think this is this like beloved character now.
Wait, singing for Whitney. You mean you don't bring up someone you've never met's former sex partners? It's such bad writing, but at least it's giving us this kind of entertainment. It's just crazy.
Hmm.
Oh my
Exactly.
god.
It's like this caricature of what how she thinks men are. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just crass. Teresa agrees with you. She says, "You're so right. It's just crass, not like a man." I mean, if that's what men are, we're all in trouble.
I
Um,
guess some are, but
I mean, it's just all right. So then we get to this weird scene where like Carrie and Seema are standing in
oh,
line to go
don't.
clubbing because 55-year-olds they go clubbing, do they? Is that what 55-year-olds do?
No, oh, and by the way, I called it as soon as I saw the both times in this episode when they were online for a club. I called it. I was like, they do not have it in the budget to film a club scene. They're not going to show them in the club.
Oh my
There's
gosh, you're
no budget.
right. Yeah, there's no budget because they gave all the money to these women, to these, actresses. And why do they keep putting these huge jackets on Carrie? She is wearing something that I would really like to see. I mean, it looks like a fabulous
Fun
dress,
again.
but I can't see it because And the bun, the awful bun. I mean, I've just given up on that. They're just not gonna stop. So I just whatever. But the
Which, by the way,
jackets.
they don't even have where are locations. Like the original series used to be so amazing, and all the locations that they would show. There are no I think the diner scene was the first time in this whole show that they've gone to like a real place.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I mean, they're using green screens. Everything's like nebulous. Singing for Whitney. That's the only club in New York. They had no other options. It's right. I mean, and I've said the same thing. Why are Carrie's arms always covered? Is she a Mormon now? Did
She
she
left
convert to
she
Islam?
she left her brain in Abu Dhabi.
I kept saying Abu Dhabi as I was doing my review earlier. Like,
Abu
are
Dhabi do.
the police coming to make sure the women are covered? And so she carries a jacket all the time.
That's what it looks like.
What is
Except worse.
happening? Maybe she has bat wings or is a self-cutter. Well, I'll tell you what, Martin, I'm a self-cutter after this show. Keep me from the razor blades because I'm about ready to get started on my forearms. Somebody make it stop.
They should have just called this show like No Sex, No City. Exactly.
No sex. Oh no, I'm gonna cough. You made me choke. Drink, Mikey made me choke. Drink. Oh my god. Oh my god. Katie says, "Oh god, we do not mention Abu Dhabi." You know what? This show though.
I have sex. Condoms.
I have to say that a part of me loved that movie because it was brave. It was brave to tell those jokes.
I thought that was the worst it could get. This is 1,000 times worse. At least that was like you could hate. It was shit, but it was like I don't know, shiny shit at least.
Yeah, and what's with the shoulder pads? Like Seema's got these shoulder pads on. Wait till you see this. She's wearing so they give up at the club because there's nowhere else to go. Look at the shoulder pads.
Oh no. Oh wait, sorry, go on. Look
at the shoulder pads.
Hey Leah, I love you.
Leah's mentioning it. Shoulder pads. Like, are they stuck in the 80s? Yeah, apparently yes. And then they leave the club because there's no place else to go, and they end up just going to eat cake somewhere.
But wait, can we talk about because they have to just shoehorn in the woke shit into every scene and show how like postmodernly ironic they are all the time. So like when they try to bribe the bouncer to skip the line and he basically just says no, she's like, and they leave because heavens, wait in line. Do you know who we are? But and then she's like, did I get canceled by the bouncer? No, bitch. No.
You don't know what canceled is.
Wait in line with everyone else.
Yeah, you don't know what canceled is. Did you lose your job? Did you get booted off of social media? Can you no longer use your PayPal? And by the way, the bouncer saying that was offensive. Woke moment. What? It's offensive to offer a bouncer. It's offensive to offer a bouncer cash. Not in the world I live in. You live in New York City, Mike. If you offered a bouncer some cash, you think they'd be offended?
Well, I have no cash to give, so it's not like a problem that I encounter personally. But no, he literally just refused to give them special treatment. I was like, you're gonna have to wait with the rest of the peasants. And they were like, oh, we're leaving then.
Oh, sorry, you're right. He's not a bouncer. He's a doorman. Right.
Doorman.
There's a difference. Sorry, doorman. Hey, nerdy girl. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, thanks for all of you for tuning in, by the way. It's fun to have such a fun comment section. If you have any questions about the show or you want to tell us your absolute worst moments of this bloody disaster, drop it in the comments and we will answer them. And definitely. Now, Martin wants to know, speaking of canceled, is there going to be a second season? Oh, wait, Deb, door person.
Deb.
Drink to Deb's wittiness,
Yes.
because Deb's wittiness just won. Okay, so going back to the second season question, there are rumors that yes, HBO is going to renew this for a second season. And I don't
To
know.
prove a point. Did you see the
Yeah,
article? They
to
said
prove
they're gonna
a
renew it to prove a point.
Yeah, what's the point they're proving? That they can make worse shit than this?
They hate us.
They hate us. I mean, we already know they hate us. Yeah, it
Their
just
point
kills
is
me.
like, I am the captain now.
Not a doorman, a door they.
Ah. Oh, speaking of which, did you hear and I knew it as soon as Charlotte mentioned her daughter. I was like, oh, now she's gonna have the short hair. She's just gonna be a man at this point. And of course she
Uh-huh.
is. Rock, go to hell.
I think we should call her The Rock, just like
Yeah,
Jen does
J-Rock.
over at Real Housewives recaps. Jen is calling her The Rock, which I think is really funny.
They rock. They
They
rock.
rock. Oh, Leah says, like sex and the depends. No, there's no sex. No sex and
Sexless
depends.
and the depends.
Sexless and independs. All
Did
right,
you
this is a
hear,
good
though, when
point,
they're
Mark.
talking about her daughter's bar mitzvah and they called it
Oh,
a
yeah.
they mitzvah?
They I missed that the first time
Oh,
around. I
I
didn't know what
wanna
she was saying.
die.
I thought she was using another Jewish word, and it kinda just went right by
No.
me. That is just enough already. Is there a rabbi alive that would hold a they mitzvah? Maybe there
I
is.
hope not, but in this fucking world, probably,
I know.
sadly.
Martin says the camp value is propping up the ratings. I agree, Martin. I
I
agree
hate
with that.
watching.
I definitely think everyone's hate watching, and you know what? They're gonna take the views where they can get them. If they're getting the ratings, why not? And I have to say, I'm kind of in favor of a second season because I'm
Me
having
too.
so much fun. I'm having so much fun. I could do this forever. I mean, all right, we should get to this because, well, we're not there yet, but Cantina mentioned it. As a bar mitzvah Jew, Anthony's Holocaust denier date reaction was the funniest joke in the whole series. Now, I agree that it was funny, his
It was just
reaction,
so random, though.
but I hated this. I hated
Yeah.
it. Why did you hate it? I wanna hear why you hate. You know what it is? You know why, Mike? Because
What?
this is how they portray people like you.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. That's
This would be
literally what I was thinking. It
yeah,
was
okay,
so
so say
forced.
it.
It was so forced and shoehorned in, and you know that that's supposed to represent like the non-leftists, you're either giving your child a sex change or you're denying the Holocaust.
Or
They
you're a
want you to think
Nazi.
that those are
Yeah,
that
there's
those
no
are
in
your two
between.
options. It was
And
again, it's like this show was just written by aliens wwho just arrived to Earth for the first time,
and we
and they've
forgot the
been
drink for
told
the
about
woke
how
moment
people
here.
speak, but they don't quite get it. Because it was just so out of nowhere, and you know what it felt like to me? It felt like they just decided spontaneously at the last minute on set to include that in, because there was no build up to it. There was no nothing. It was just like one line out of nowhere. And I feel like if you're going to go with Holocaust denial, like, give us a build up to it.
Well, and it was just so who would do that? Walk into someone's house when
Yeah.
you see Jewish people and you know they're Jewish and then you say something like that. I mean, that is just insane.
Like,
That's
even if I
insane.
were in the house of one of the non-binaries, I would still just like smile, nod, and probably go home. Like, I wouldn't like,
Yeah,
oh,
you don't
you're like, who would
yeah,
do
you
that?
wouldn't be like, "Hey, guess what? What you think is not real."
Yeah.
You know? That's so
Unless they
crazy.
gave me a reason to. If they got nasty, I probably would, but I wouldn't go out of my way to.
Right. Like, here's this guy being invited into their house for dinner, and here's this thing with Hollywood people that drives me crazy and the way they write people, is that they are saying that this person is a legitimate kind of person, which is not true. There's, like, a very small segment of weirdos on the internet, and you can find them in
I've
any
never met
category.
somebody who thinks the
Me either.
Holocaust didn't happen. Have
Me
you?
either. It's like I've never met anyone who thinks the earth is flat. I've never met
No.
anyone who thinks we legitimately didn't go to the moon. I know they exist. They're out there on some corner of Reddit or whatever, but why would we legitimize that by making it a part of this show and being like, "Oh yeah, those people, they're all over the place. In fact, there's so many of them that Anthony manages to find one to bring home for a date." Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I hate it. And 76 Manny says, why so many unfinished stories? The neighbor, the colonoscopy, Rock, Carrie buying a house, Lily's Instagram, so many unfinished
The
stories.
secretary? I thought the whole season was going to be about Big Secretary and the secret
Exactly.
dig up and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, nuts.
Ugh.
This whole thing has been nuts. Okay, then we get into in the middle of the dinner party. Oh, here we go. In the middle of this dinner, so this Charlotte's trying to get stuff on the table, and like now Lily, who is like just the biggest bitch ever, she's screaming, crying all the
She is
time.
a fucking demon child. Oh my god, it's like The Bad Seed. Remember that movie, The Bad Seed? That's fucking Lily.
Yes.
She's a tiny bad seed.
Bad Seed. I like Ben Belzer here. He says, who else thinks Samantha Irby will make a cameo eating tacos on the toilet in the bathroom of the club Seema and Carrie go to? I mean, this is just crazy. Yeah, thank you. How would this happen, Martin? That's what I want to know. Like, I won't even let those words come out of my mouth because some asshole will clip them and then say that I said that. So like neither one of us is going to actually repeat that because it obviously is a big lie. But that's exactly how the left would treat us. They would take that, put it in our mouths. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Where I was quoting someone.
And you're Jewish.
What? Yeah.
You never quote anyone saying anything controversial.
Oh, no.
Oh man. Yeah, if this guy was so unhinged, Anthony would have noticed something before this insane outburst. Yeah, probably. I mean, the only thing was it was a good laugh when Anthony screamed at him to get out of the house. That was funny. But other than that, I thought it was stupid. Lily
Also, is it just me or does Harry not look like he's on death's door?
Yeah, he doesn't look well. Maybe he's not well. I don't know.
I hope he is, but
yeah, he doesn't look great.
He looks terrible. And I don't know if I still let me know what you guys think, because in the first episode, the entire episode when Big was on screen, I kept thinking I still don't know if this was acting or if it's just Chris Noth, but like he looked like shit. He looked terrible. And then when he ended up dying in the episode, I'm like, gee, maybe if Carrie wasn't such a selfish cunt, she would have realized that he looked like shit, taken him to a doctor.
Yeah, and like all the cigar smoking and the steak dinners probably didn't help. And maybe
if that's just way. Chris Noth is maybe old now, but he was like slurring his words and looked terrible, and now Harry looks the same way. So it's just like, and Steve kind of does too. So it's like, are all of their male actors just like rapidly aging, or is this some kind of stylistic choice? I don't get it.
I don't know, but I think they've also made them look that way with the way that they style them too. Martin says, who would give a tampon lesson to her daughter in the middle of a dinner party? Is Lily going to the pool party right now? This is exactly my point with this scene. It's like, what are you doing? What do you mean you're going to leave your guests and your challah burning in the oven to go and train your teenager? First of all, that's not how this works. I have 2 teenage girls. They both have their periods. And when that happens, and when they need to learn how to use it, you hand them the instructions from the box and you're like, read this and figure it out. And if you have any questions, I'll find you a YouTube video. Okay. I'm not coming into the bathroom to like walk you through this. I mean, I guess in an emergency situation, I'd pull a Samantha if I had to. In an emergency situation, if I've got to get up in there, I will. But in it, just learning how to use this, here's a box. Go crazy.
Okay, can we talk about this now? Because I know it happened later in the episode. However, please tell me you guys heard at the end, like towards the end when she's in the porta potty and she's freaking out. Lily is freaking out that I lost my tampon string. And Charlotte says to her, maybe it's in your tushy.
Oh,
okay. God. So maybe I'm probably very much not the person who would know this. So you guys let me know. Is that how tampons work? They come out the other end? You put it in one end and it comes out the other?
Mike,
is that what happens?
Mike asked me this question before we came on. I said he had to ask it live on the air.
So she puts the tampon in her twat and the string comes out the back end, and so she pulls it out from her ass? Is that how tampons happen?
So now the show has been a purveyor of misinformation and should be flagged for misinformation because someone has actually believed that tampons go in one way and come out the other because of this stupid show. All right, Mike, I'm going to explain this to you.
Okay,
And
tell me how
I thought of the
tampons
best way
happen.
to explain it was to say, you know what a thong is, right? And you know where
Mhm.
a thong goes? Up the butt crack, right? So
That seems like it'd
imagine,
be very uncomfortable.
yeah, it is very uncomfortable. So
Wouldn't you
imagine
be
you have
pulling at it all the time?
this little string hanging out from, where it goes in. But when you put your underwear on, sometimes the string, not the whole thing, goes up like a thong. See? So she
Oh.
meant, did you look in your crack for the string? Because it might have gone up there. Yeah.
Ew. That's gotta be a long ass string.
Well,
Or
yeah, you
just a
don't want to
very
lose
short
it.
vagina.
You don't want to lose it.
Do they get lost?
Well, yes, actually.
Oh.
So that happened to my aunt once, and she said that she was in extreme pain and couldn't figure out what was wrong, and she was like she forgot that she had put one in. So it had been like a week or something. And she ended up at the hospital, and she said she was, like, writhing around on the table being all dramatic, and when they discovered that there was just a tampon in there, she said she felt so stupid immediately. She was just like, "Oh, oh, sorry." Like, I forgot. Yes, yes, that really happened. It really, really happened. And she tells that story way funnier than I do. By the way,
That's
that's the same
amazing.
aunt that I have who was giving her husband a blowjob when he had COVID. So this woman she's a mess. She's hilarious.
Oh, I wanna be friends with her.
Oh, you do, you do, you definitely
Ah.
do. They
Someone said in the chat that poor actress must have been humiliating. Yeah, can you imagine this poor girl, like, she gets cast in this and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be in the Sex and the City reboot. What am I gonna be doing in it?"
Mhm.
And then
She's
this
sitting
is
on a
what she's
toilet.
doing in it.
Yeah, she's sitting on a toilet. Um,
Probably like expectations versus reality in this
Now,
case.
the actress who plays Lily is actually in her 20s, I believe, so I
She
guess,
looks it.
we don't have to feel too sorry for her,
Oh,
and
I didn't.
we can also stop worrying about saying we think she should get hit by a truck as Lily, because she's not actually a child, so I don't feel so bad saying I think that the character
Demon.
of
She's
Lily should get hit by a truck.
demonic. Yeah, she's a
All right.
menace.
All right. It's Charlotte Tilbury, darling, says Samantha Irby wants everyone to feel gross and uncomfortable and perpetually in a bodily function related a crisis like her. Absolutely spot on,
Yes. That is so
darling.
damn true.
Yes. So true. And there is something about this uncomfortable humor um, that is rooted in being a social reject, which okay is a real thing. People are socially
Oh,
rejected.
wow.
I was totally a social reject in middle school. It was really awful. So I understand how you would want to put humor into that, but also, why the hell uh, do you not want to avoid humiliation? You know what I mean? Like this whole thing is like an exercise in humiliation. Horror flick guy says he set a reminder so he wouldn't be late, but it didn't go off. We're doing great. Sorry that
Hey,
your
darling.
alarm didn't go off. Um okay, so Darling says, as a formerly morbidly obese person who is now at a healthy weight, congratulations, by the way,
Go,
because that's
girl.
amazing.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
drinks for you. I
Yeah.
never would have wished my discomfort on anyone, and seeing it on screen wouldn't have normalized any of it for me or made me happy. Yeah, yeah, agreed. Agreed. I don't get
That's an
it.
interesting point that you make because I've never found like that kind of humor funny, like farts and poop and shit. For the same reason that I don't find the shit funny when they're like, "Oh, we're gay, we're pussy," but just because
Yeah.
like it just requires no thought, no wit. It's just like So maybe there is something between that sort of identitarian comedy and that like gross sort of comedy that coincides with these types of people.
Yeah, I think there is, and I think it's because of that it's you're always gonna how the social justice warriors all kind of look alike? They're overweight,
Mhm.
not very attractive by their own doing, by the way. It's not because they couldn't be attractive, because I
Oh,
believe
no, they
all
turn themselves into their own fucking science projects.
exactly, and they
Look at
bring
this
on
Che chick. Look at her before picture.
which one?
Che Diaz.
Oh, Che
Before.
Diaz. Yeah.
You guys have to look up the actress before. She was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. She is a really beautiful woman, but yeah,
Was.
it's just so they yeah, was, and they do this on purpose, and then, like, they become a victim, and so it gives them more capital, more victim capital,
Mhm.
and then, and you're right, Nerdy Girl says bathroom humor is very low-hanging fruit. It's very lazy writing. It is
Yeah.
the laziest of the lazy. My sister one time went and saw Blue Man Group. Do you remember Blue Man Group when it was all
Oh,
the
yeah.
rage? Well, I never saw it in person, but she did, and she came home completely offended by the thing, and she was like, "I cannot believe what I just sat through," and I was like, "What happened?"
Why?
Yeah, she goes, "Nobody else understood it," and now she has a very, very high IQ, so I'm actually gonna believe that she saw something in this that probably no one else sees, but she said the entire thing was just an allegory for drain pipes and a sewage system, and that
What?
the audience was being shit on the entire time.
What?
Oh, yeah, like,
Is
that
that
they
what
were
it is?
I don't know, but it's like this, performance art, and that's what she got out of it, and it made her angry, and that's how this show feels to me. To me,
Yeah.
it feels like they are just flushing shit down on us, and we're the ones at the bottom of the reservoir getting it dumped on our heads, and they're laughing about it. It's
Performance art in general just makes me wanna take a toaster into the tub always.
Do you remember the performance art from the Sex and the City season where there's, like, a girl, like, refusing to eat or sleep or whatever for
Yeah.
and she goes with, that pretentious ass played by my favorite ballet dancer,
Oh, I hate
Baryshnikov.
him.
I hated him in the show, but he is such a wonderful actor and a wonderful
Yeah,
dancer, but he played such a great asshole on that show,
yeah.
and he's all pretentious, like, "How do you know she's faking, and how do you know?" And, like, I was with Carrie on that one. I was with
Oh,
Carrie.
yeah.
That woman, when no one was there, she was sneaking a Big Mac.
No, because Carrie was cool then, but they've all turned into the Russian guy. They are now the people who would go and see that and be like, "Oh, how moving. It represents the patriarchy taking food out of the mouths of women," and, like, they wouldn't laugh at that shit now. They're too fucking serious and take
Yeah.
themselves so seriously.
Helena says she loves Blue Man Group. I don't know if
Mhm.
that's true. That was just what
I've
my
never
sister
seen it.
took out of it, and I never saw it either, but, she just felt like it was like a big joke on the audience, and that everyone who was saying it was so great just never didn't get the joke, and the joke was that it was, she said at one point they even threw toilet paper all over the audience.
Oh, and it was intentional? It was like an Andy Kaufman sorta move?
Yeah, that's what she thinks, that's what she got out of it. Look, even Helena will verify. My show had giant cell phone, drums, and yes, toilet paper. So, performance art is what you get out of it, right? I mean, if
Ugh.
they don't tell you what it's about, you're
A
supposed to
headache is what you get out of it.
Yeah, I think it's crap also. I think it's okay, so how about this scene where Carrie goes on her second date with the principal?
Oh, Christ.
Or not
I
principal, he's a teacher, whatever.
Whatever the fuck he
He
is,
paid
he's a another eunuch.
$1,000 he paid 1,050 for this second date with her,
Ugh.
remember? And she doesn't
Oh,
even
I
have
forgot
the
about that.
common decency to call him and tell him she's changed her mind, or,
Or refund his money.
or refund his money, and also tell him, "How about this? You know what, sir? I can't be your girlfriend or anything, but I definitely we can be friends, so let's have dinner together because we're friends and I could use some company. But why would you make a guy get dressed, pay for a cab fare, come all the way wherever he went, and then not go to dinner with him?"
But he's perfectly fine with it because all the men in this show are bitches. They are all eunuchs.
Yeah,
If
I would
someone
not
did
be
that to me, I
perfectly
would tell
fine
them to
with
fuck
that.
off.
Exactly, and what do you think
And she
about
doesn't
this?
have the excuse of, "Oh, her husband died." His wife died. He's not a selfish cunt. But
I
but
just
she
spit out
goes
my beer.
but she goes out with him to tell him that she's standing him up, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, perfectly fine with that. That's wonderful. Let me give you a hug. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me apologize to you."
Yeah.
They would never, it made me think of my friend. I have a friend, I don't know if you guys know, he has a podcast called Conservatish, my friend Peter Feliciano, and he is a manly man. And I was just thinking about if some bitch tried to pull this shit on him, he would have some words for her. He would not be, "Oh, gee golly, I'm so sorry. That's great. Want to go out again, maybe? So you can stand me up again?" And
Yeah,
they
I
would
mean,
just
it's
never
weird.
allow a man like that to be seen on a television show ever.
Horror Flick Guy says, as far as woke goes, the reboot of Charmed is so preachy, feminist, man-hating, and anti-white. Maybe I'll have to I didn't know there was a
Is
reboot
it?
of
I haven't seen it. I
Charmed.
didn't even know there was a Charmed reboot.
They're rebooting Charmed? Was that such a great show that it needs a reboot?
I actually never saw it, but I'm surprised that I've never seen it because it was like seems like I would have been into it.
Carrie wears a marm bun clubbing and her hair down and flat ironed as to a charity painting event.
Ugh,
I like this comment. Brian says, Lily is going to have to wear
Hmm.
pads.
I don't know which looks worse. With the hair down, she looks like fucking Cousin It.
I know, because she doesn't have any volume at the root anymore. Somehow
Ugh.
she lost all her curls, and we're not allowed to see
Mhm.
Carrie anymore with her curls, and it just kills me. Um, Stephanie says Barishnikov was my first crush as a 4-year-old ballet dancer. That's so sweet. And he's probably shaking his head in disgust too. You know what, Stephanie? When I was about that age, I think I fell in love with Barishnikov too because I used to watch that whenever they would do the Nutcracker, he was on TV. They would play it on PBS, and I just thought he was the most handsome man I ever saw. Also, do you remember when he was in that movie with the one about the defecting dancer from Russia with Gregory Hines? What was that movie?
Oh, I love Gregory
Have you
Hines.
seen that movie? Do you not know what I'm
No.
talking about? Oh my gosh, hold on. I'll look it up real quick. It's Baryshnikov.
Gregory
uh,
Hines is so damn underrated.
and White Knights. Oh my gosh, you guys. If you have not I can't believe it's called White Knights. Welcome to the 80s where you
It's
could
about
say whatever you
Samantha.
wanted. Things didn't mean what they mean now, but it's called White Knights. And my God, Gregory Hines, by the way, another terrific dancer, right? He just amazing. And they dance together in this movie. And it is just wonderful. I mean, I'm going to show you a clip of this, because not a clip, because then I'll get a copyright strike and nobody needs that. But I'll share my screen so you can see them together. And they were, the story was so wonderful. It was about a communist Russia, and this, they used to treat the ballet dancers terribly. And I think they might still do that. I don't know. But back then it was like you couldn't do anything but dance. You've not seen this movie? This is such
No,
a
I've
good
never
movie.
heard of it.
1985, White Knights. I used to watch this all the time. And this American is invited to Russia, and which is Gregory Hines, and he meets Mikhail Baryshnikov, who's their big dancer, and they're supposed to be, I think, entertaining him. It's been a long time since I saw it, but eventually the Russian defects, and Gregory Hines helps him. It is a wonderful movie. That is something that you guys should definitely check out if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. It sounds good though.
I am a well of information from the 80s. I can tell you all kinds of things that were good in the 80s. Basically everything else. Everything was good. Everything now
It
sucks.
was, and the 90s.
Yeah, everything was good then. Like none of this shit was going on then.
No, I think about that sometimes, how lucky I feel like I was to grow up in the 90s.
Yeah, I was super lucky to grow up in the 80s, and
Oh,
now it's just like I don't know, like we just had so much more freedom. We had everything. Oh
we
God,
had
what do you think about this?
everything.
What do you think about this awful outfit she's wearing, by the way? Because I hated it. Wait, I'm going back. I don't understand why they keep putting her in all this puffy stuff that adds like weight to her when she is not fat. And
See, like,
like
I think it just speaks to the total lack of creativity in the show because for me, the original series wasn't about clothes. It was about it was very creative what they did with the fashion. It was about the creativity. There's no creativity. There's no nothing.
yeah, I know. I know. And like this, oh, by the way, ladies, if you've got great legs like Carrie does, don't wear this length of skirt. This is for teachers, um,
Yes.
and like librarians. But if you want to go out on a date, you need to raise that hemline, ladies, because
Oh
at
yeah.
least to your knees. I want to see, you got to see that calf in a high heel. Like high heels are doing nothing for you. You might as well wear flats if you're going to wear a skirt this length. This is not going to do it for you. And if you are going to wear a skirt this length, it needs to be a pencil skirt, one that hugs you and shows your shape. This stupid, puffy, whatever this is worn by, middle-aged, overweight teachers or something. Like, I don't know why she's wearing this. I
I'm
don't
telling you,
even
their looks in this show is a reflection of who they are on the inside. Hideous.
hideous. Bag lady chic, says Ben. Absolutely. I don't understand this look at all. She's got great
Without
legs.
the
She has a
sleep.
great figure, but the clothing designers are just determined not to give us anything that looks good on her. They're just determined. Brian wants to know, what is an SJW? Would you like to explain
Oh,
that,
how
Mike?
long do you have?
Well, for one, it stands for Social Justice Warrior. And usually, and you can, if you
Is a
remember
term of
back in,
sarcasm.
yeah, if you remember back in episode 1 when Miranda goes to school and there are those like that girl who she supposedly misgendered because she said he told me, that one with the blue glasses, that's an SJW, and they wear these big problem glasses and they have real short crazy colored hair, and they're going to be a problem the second they open their mouths because
Mhm.
they bitch at you like this guy or whoever this is. This is
Mhm.
an SJW right here. Someone who
I,
tells you
I
what
think
what you have to say.
I think their main characteristic is authoritarianism. They want to
Yeah.
control every aspect of your lives. They want to control what you can say, what you can think. It's a cult. And so if you look up the actual warning signs of a cult, this fits every single one and it's very accurate. They're obsessed with people's race, gender, sexuality. They basically believe in us all being judged for everything but the content of our character.
Singing for Whitney. She looks like a Southern Baptist grandmother going to a prayer meeting. Okay, nothing against Southern Baptist grandmas going to their prayer meetings. We love them,
They look
but
better
yeah,
than she
they look
does.
better
Much better.
and there's nothing wrong with your Southern Baptist grandma looking like that. That would be a perfectly nice outfit for her. But for a hot and happening, supposedly 50 and fabulous
Mm.
type of person, no, no.
The
She's
question mark was foreshadowing.
okay. So what about this scene? Miranda goes to see Che, and she does this weird on the
Ugh.
door, but it's like around in a circle, like being cutesy in a circle. Have you
A
ever seen, what is
pentagram.
this?
A pentagram.
Do you think someone actually gave her the direction to do that? Like, hey, Cynthia, here's what I want you to do. When you get to the door, I want you to knock in a cutesy pattern, but do it in a circle motion because this show isn't cringe enough. We need more cringe. We need to cringe it up. What is going on?
Disgusting. I mean, remember when Miranda was strong and
Oh,
independent and tough
yes.
and wise and
Yes. Remember when she was the only one who would call Carrie out on all her shit and be
yeah, and her
like,
narcissism. Yup.
when she would be like, "Hey, Carrie, you can't go to Paris with Barishnikov over here, Petrovsky or whatever his name is, because he's taking over your life and he's a bad guy." Remember
Yeah,
that?
or when she said, if you're gonna complain about Big if and go back to him, I don't want to hear it. Like, that whole argument in the
Yes.
thrift store.
Yes. She would call her out on her shit constantly. I miss that, Miranda. Oh, Darling says, as to SJWs, they are also very, oh my God, your words are literally violence. You deserve
Mhm.
to be erased. Yep. You nailed it.
They
Nailed it.
basically believe that free speech is violence and violence is free speech.
Yep. Hey, GiveSpark says, I have the newspaper dress and I love it. You have the newspaper dress?
We need a
Oh,
picture.
that was my favorite dress. I loved that dress. What a great dress that was.
We need to see this.
Yeah, I don't think they can post pictures in here, but that would be
Well,
fabulous. The
tweet us
newspaper
after.
dress. Oh, that's iconic. Where did you get the newspaper
Yeah, send
dress?
us on Twitter or something.
Oh yeah, you can send it on Twitter. I'm at Megan Fox Writer. What's your Twitter?
I'm not Mike Harlow because Mike
Right.
Harlow was banned from Twitter, so he
Several
would never
times.
be on there. Yeah. So, but not Mike Harlow is on Twitter. Oh,
Perfect.
you
So
guys
at
check out my
not
YouTube
Mike Harlow.
channel too, because I'm gonna do a big wrap up of the whole season. So it's just my name.
Good. I'll link it in the description. Now look at this. Remember when Miranda was so afraid of intimacy and love, she ate the giant "I love you" cookie? Yes.
Mhm.
Who is this Miranda? Now she's bringing cookies to Che's house, and I was so ready for her to open the door and there be some like hot chick or maybe 2 or 3.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
I'm
telling you,
so
they're not gonna allow one of the non-binaries to be anything other than Christ.
oh my god.
This is like the Jesus figure of the show.
Yeah, exactly. They're treating her like Jesus. And Singing for Whitney says, if anyone is interested later, I wrote a Backstreet Boys song parody about Che. Maybe after the last. Can you send that to me? Send that to me. I will play it. That is so funny.
That's
But
amazing.
you're right. They're not gonna. And I thought for sure they were setting her up because she is a bad person. She
Mhm.
smokes weed at people's funerals she doesn't
Oh,
know.
she's disgusting.
She sleeps with men's wives, like, she sleeps around. She's not a good person,
No.
and why they are setting right? Weren't they
But they
setting her
think that
up?
they're allowed to be bad people because they're
Good
oppressed. Not only that they're
god.
allowed to be bad people, but that they can be as horrible as they can be, and then they're still victims.
Yeah, I really thought there was gonna be women here, but of course, that's not what happens. Che's just mad that Miranda didn't call or announce that she was coming over because
Mhm.
Che is writing. Now she's a writer, apparently. I didn't
Yeah,
know
oh
she was a
well.
writer. And she's like, "I don't want you here. You need to let me know when you're, coming over." And then Miranda goes into this extremely weird overacting again,
Ugh,
where
that
she's
was the
like,
worst
"Oh my god.
acting
Oh
she's
my god, this
done.
isn't me. I've never done this before. What would Meg Ryan do? I'm leaving right now." And she starts running down the stairs. And then Che, for some reason, asks her to come back up and stay after already telling her, "No, you're a pain in my ass," which I didn't understand. I mean, I don't get it.
The 55-year-old woman.
And why is she so unsure of herself and she's so unaware and like insecure? This is not Miranda Hobbs. There's like a case of the body snatchers.
Yeah.
Who
Miranda
is
was
this?
actually probably the most secure of all of them.
I know, but now she's totally unrecognizable. So, this
They
scene
all
was
are. Like,
painful.
it's most obvious with Miranda, but don't think that Carrie or the rest of them are any less, body snatched.
Okay, so then there was another woke moment here. We need to, I get my woke moment button out. Because we remember that Carrie was told during the luncheon that she wasn't allowed to just be a white lady who writes a check. She had to come and actually do painting. Well, now Seema comes to the
They're
thing.
entitled not only to your money, but to your labor.
Right. Right. But Seema, though, she can write a check, and she made sure to say brown woman writing a check.
Ugh,
So she doesn't have to paint. Do you see that? And then she goes, it's hard to be
reparations.
it's hard to be white these days.
Mm,
That's what they want, Mike, and that's what's so scary is that
yep.
there are a group of people out there who don't want equality, they want revenge.
Mhm.
And this scene really said to me, this is like a revenge scene. It's reparations. It's now you do manual labor and you pay while I stand back and laugh.
And why is she even there?
I don't know. I don't know why she's
Like,
there. I don't.
what they're just these characters, there's just absolutely no point to them.
I know.
The only one who even has an ounce of any sort of charisma or screen presence is Charlotte's friend, but they don't allow her to be a character or to have any personality or any storyline or
I
nothing.
know. I
None
kinda
of them
like
have
Seema
any
as well. I
heart.
think Seema's story could go somewhere, but they don't give her hardly any screen time, and they haven't done anything like it. Deb says this entire show is revenge. I agree, it's revenge on
Against the
us.
audience.
It's a revenge on us. And the reason, and that's a really good point, and it fits in here. This is part of reparations, taking something we loved, that white women and white gay people loved, and destroying it, and getting and making us sit here through their woke lessons. This is their revenge on us. They turned it into an after school special to hurt us. Literally, like this is what this is about.
Oh, and it hurts.
It hurts. Drink.
God, I cannot take though. It's so terrible. I mean, just, further examples of how every male in this show is a eunuch. Steve being there and
Yeah,
groveling and
yeah.
apologizing.
Mm, mm,
Apologizing. Can you imagine? Count in the next few scenes
mm.
how many times this man says, "I'm sorry."
God. Well,
It's
look at
gotta
him.
be a dozen
Look at him.
different
He's
times.
holding his balls,
Yup.
standing there, and he's Miranda just destroyed his life, and yet he's there doing her bidding, showing up to do manual labor for her. And look at this, and look at
Mhm.
Brady. He's miserable. And we never got, the writers were not smart enough or competent enough to write a scene where Miranda tells Brady that she just blew up his life and she's leaving him and doesn't give a shit about him anymore.
I don't care.
How come we didn't get, like, we have no idea what even happened. And oh
I
yeah,
don't care.
this is great. Josh says, "Has Miranda stopped drinking cold turkey after she got Che's magic fingers?" Yeah, I mean,
Ew.
that's another thing. She was an alcoholic, and now suddenly she's kicked that. And meanwhile, she's kicking all the men around in her life, like her son and her husband. It's gross. I hate it. And then this stupid
I
limo
said this
pulls
the other
up.
day, I said, not to sound redundant because I said this on Twitter the other day, but like that's what I was saying. You know what this show reminds me of? I don't know if any of you guys ever saw this, but in 1990, they tried to reboot the Brady Bunch as a gritty hour drama.
No, I don't remember this.
That's what it was called, the Brady's. That's what this show is, because there was like the issue of the week. So like Marsha's an alcoholic and Bobby's a cripple and Cindy's banging her boss and Jan is barren, and but of course it all gets solved at the end of the 42-minute episode. That's what this show is. This is the Brady's.
Except nothing ever gets solved, and they just use every
It just
single episode
disappears
to
though.
just shove more stupid shit down our throats. Lena says, "Not just white women and white gays. I'm Latina, and I loved SATC. I watched every episode over and over again. I absolutely hate this new woke ball of crap." You're right, Lena, but I think they're not trying to punish you as much as they're trying to punish us, though, with all the white people
Oh, if
jokes.
you
Like,
are a minority who doesn't submit to them, they want to punish you more than anyone, I think. Because it's
true.
never been about, it is
But you
never,
notice
ever, ever.
they're not telling Latina jokes. They're telling white jokes. They're telling,
Well, it's
they're
never.
specifically targeting white women, especially the women who watch the show, like the white women who watch the show. And I'm not saying that you don't love it. I mean, that you didn't love it. I'm sure you did. I know the fan base. It also included a lot of black women who loved this
Yeah.
show. Um, and I know a lot of them hate it too, because they've been commenting all over my channel saying, I hate what they've done to this. This is, people do not behave like this. You don't
Mhm.
run around trying to at the last minute when you're 50 years old, invite black people to your party because you don't know it. Like, what? Who does this?
But
I
it's
mean, what
never,
is
it has never been about race. It has never been about sexuality or gender. Those are just that's their snake oil. That is just what they use to get power.
it's gross. And what the hell is LTW wearing? Have you seen this? Did you see this?
Right. I didn't. Does she have a fucking makeup brush in her pocket?
Oh yeah, there's a hairbrush, several makeup brushes. There are makeup compacts.
Doing
There's
makeup for the
uh,
fucking what?
she brought a camera to a painting event and she said she was going to take pictures for the website, but then she's also wearing this like in the bush jacket that is filled with, instead of like survival gear, she's got like Lancome I don't know, powder and shit.
Oh, someone said I'm underrated.
Aw,
Sweet. Thank
that is
you.
sweet.
I think I'm overrated.
I love Mike. Mike Harlow's the best.
Oh,
But
I
look at
love
this.
Megan.
Helena says beekeeper vibes. She's on a safari. The stupidest outfit. Like, they don't even explain it either. I'm just supposed to know why she's walking around with literally a hairbrush. Look at right before that I had a picture. Look at the hairbrush. Look at the
Oh.
hairbrush on the sleeve. What?
So she's gonna do makeup for the, but shouldn't the photo shoot be about like just people painting the whatever? Like, I don't get it.
Ben says, LTW, it's called a purse. Use it. Like, yeah, what about a makeup bag? If you're going to
That's
do
so
makeup,
true.
don't you carry a makeup bag? Oh, yeah. Well, the Connors, Stephanie says the Connors went overboard. Well, when they fired Roseanne Barr, that's the last time I ever turned on that show. I will not watch anything where they've canceled someone like that for no reason.
I
That was
watched the
insane.
first episode after to see what they did, and it's exactly what I said at the time they were gonna do. We all knew it, that they would just turn it into the woke hour. Because before that, with that one season when she was on it, it was probably the only thing on TV that was actually open-minded and actually truly diverse and showed diverse perspectives. It wasn't force-feeding you with any one set of views, and they couldn't allow that, you know?
Singing for Whitney, she looks like she climbed into my bathroom drawer and everything hitched a ride.
That's great.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, Roseanne, I miss her though. I miss her on that show, and the show was just crazy. What they did to her was bad.
Fucking right-leaning people did what they goddamn always do when that first happened. Oh, well, I don't agree with what she said, but shut up! Like, I don't realize that you need to go to fucking war for every single person that this happens to. I don't care what they said.
Yeah, I don't care what they said either. I don't care.
Didn't say anything. And you know what's funny is that woman that she tweeted about, that she didn't even know she was Black.
Hardly anybody knew. Hardly anybody knew Valerie Jarrett was Black, and she's not fully Black. She's like mixed race of some kind. I think she's
maybe Hawaiian.
No, she's Iranian. She's Iranian and also Black, and so she's very light-skinned. She does not look, you can't tell. You can't tell. I knew because I follow politics and like I knew, but I can absolutely see how she didn't know. And saying that, I just thought she's a comedian. Do you know how many times Roseanne Barr has offended people? Do you remember when she was in a magazine, when she sang the national anthem and like totally screwed it up and like the whole country hated her? And then one time she was in a magazine where she was baking cookies and she was dressed up like Hitler. Like that's who she is. That's who she's very edgy and she's always been that way. And like, come on. And you're absolutely right, Josh. Roseanne was very instrumental in bringing gay lesbian issues onto the show in the 90s. How soon they forget. Yep. She sure did. No, they don't give a shit.
But that's why it's not about they don't care about gay people or Black. It's about their own power. It's about fucking communism is what it's about.
Yeah, okay, so Martin points out that in this scene, there's the Prada guy. So they reused an actor and made him a different character.
The Prada guy.
And they thought we weren't going to notice or something that this guy has already been in the series.
Now.
Yeah, that's the Prada guy. And so they're setting Seema up to have like a romantic interest. Finally, someone might get laid on the show. Finally, someone that we won't want to throw up watching. What I mean, maybe the sex will come back with this. I mean, Seema deserves something. She deserves not to be portrayed as a loser. Okay, I hated the scene so
Oh, I hate
much.
it so much.
Steve is
I'm
just trying to
sorry,
talk to her.
Callie. I'm sorry. Did you know that Miranda wanted to sleep with women? I'm sorry. Hope I didn't take up too much of your time.
Oh my
Fuck
God.
you.
That's the greatest impression I ever heard.
I hate it so
But
much.
then he walks towards her. Did you see this when he walks toward her? She's known him forever, and she jumps backwards like he's about to attack her.
Well,
And then
he's a straight white male. Of course he is.
the comments want more of that impression. You're gonna have to do more.
That was literally the first time I've ever done it.
So good though. It's so good. And of course, it becomes all about Carrie. Steve has his heart broken.
Coming off. This ring is never coming off. I don't care if she does the scissoring, the carpet eating, the muff diving. Never coming off.
It's horrible. What? Is he always
pee my pants? I'm gonna turn into an episode of that just like that. I'm gonna have a Carrie situation. I can't even pay attention to the comments. I can't see. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Was he always this much of a pussy? And we didn't realize?
No, he was. He was always.
Yeah,
he was always like this. He's a beta guy. Like Miranda wasn't, but that's why they kind of worked because she was an alpha. She was an alpha, and it just worked that way. Strong women like Miranda need a guy who will take a back seat. Like that's just, and there's always those guys out there. There are always guys who will do that, and then because there's somebody for everyone. And it's just
that's how it always is. Because I don't know, like I'm a strong person and I want a strong person. There's nothing. Oh, let me know what you guys think. For me, there's absolutely nothing more off-putting on a date or with a guy than overt weakness when they just reek of being a pussy.
I don't know. I think Steve is really sweet and kind. I agree with Gift Sparks.
In general, do you think that like strong people want someone weak?
Well, okay, I see what you're saying. That like you I think that opposites do attract though. I think that opposites attract, and I don't. If you have two really strong personalities, and maybe that's why you have a tough luck dating, Mike, because when you have two strong personalities, that can get really difficult.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I feel like this show.
I want a guy who looks like he spent some time in juvie. That's all. It's very hard to find when you're gay.
Helena says that New York is crawling with sweet Steves. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I'm not on the dating scene anymore, but yeah, I'm very lucky. I saw somebody tweet the other day, those of you who are married and, have been married and missed this whole like internet dating thing, do you feel like you got on the last chopper out of Nam?
Yes, you should.
And I do.
You should.
Watching people try to do this, like swiping, and that was in the show, like the swiping and the apps and stuff. Like, oh my God, I would never
bother anymore.
No.
It's just so pointless.
It is. It's bad. Okay, so for next week, what are you looking? What are your? Let's do what we think is going to happen. What's going to happen next week?
Oh, I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, but you know what I think is going to happen? I will bet you I'm right. I will make you a bet.
Okay.
Oh, it's so disgusting. I don't even want to say it. It's
what?
So disgusting.
What could be so disgusting?
There's going to be a scene where Brady, Steve, Miranda, and Che sit down for dinner as a family.
Oh God. But no, she's not traditional, remember? No
Yeah, but
tradition.
they're just gonna have dinner together and it'll all be fine. And Steve is perfectly fine with it.
That's a horrible prediction.
I'll bet you I'm right. I will bet you. And they'll try to frame it as being sweet and like
Boo! Boo!
oh, I will vomit. I
Half
will
of
I will
Che,
literally make you guys
how
a
about
bet.
this? Half of Che would get pregnant. Another bathroom scene will happen for sure.
Oh, by the way, did you guys notice that in the scene where they're painting shit, Miranda has literally been a lesbian for 5 minutes and they already have her fucking dressed in flannel.
Well,
Did
it's
she
the
have
requisite
Birkenstocks on
uniform.
too? I didn't check.
God. What else?
Ugh.
Comments? What else? Listeners, what else is going to happen next week? You guys are doing better than I am coming up with this stuff.
Oh, can we also say, by the way, I was just
Yeah.
the whole thing with Carrie, the dropping the ring down the and of course then Steve had to come and help. Oh, right away, Carrie. I'm sorry. Ugh. But
Well,
like,
I knew
all of that was for nothing, and it just goes to show how this show just has no stakes, no consequences to their actions, nothing. Like, what was the point of all that? I thought they would at least lose the ring and there would be a consequence.
No,
But there's
Carrie never gets any consequence because her friends always bail her out, or Big always bails her out, or she pressures Charlotte to pay for her life. Like, she never has a consequence, ever.
But that means that this show has no stakes.
Well, but it never really has. And I think what I'm coming to the conclusion of is that I was just an immature, idiot when I watched this show the first time.
I still fucking love the original.
I do still love it, but I now that I watch it back though, Carrie has always been a really selfish bitch, and I can't figure out everything's about Carrie. It's all about Carrie, and everyone has to drop everything they're doing and like go on her honeymoon with her, rescue her from all these things that happened to her.
Yeah.
And yet when they need her for something, when Miranda asked her to come paint a fucking building, she's like, do I have to? No, I don't paint. I can't come. What?
It was horrible. I think in the show, though, I think the movies was really when she started to transition into being fully demonic. I think the shows,
she's like become possessed. The possession is complete.
Yeah. I think in the show there was at least an awareness of her being horrible, and there was at least a balance to it, that she had redeeming qualities as well. So I think it was like, it made her interesting in the show, but in this show, it just makes her a fucking twat.
Oh God. Ben says they'll go to an art show where it's all toilets.
And they'll take it very seriously.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, speaking of toilets, ignore the stupid music. Oh no. Okay. So I put together a little video that I did with all the toilet scenes in this show, which is so crazy. There's so many of them that it's just, I think they've already done that, Ben. They've already done, like, this is a performance art thing about bathrooms and toilets. Like in Natasha on the toilet.
Oh, I'm telling you, I think that fucking Michael Patrick King has got some weird sexual complex.
Yeah, he likes minors, I think. I mean, he obsesses in that podcast, the writer's podcast. He obsesses over Brady's semen all the time, which is gross. The kid is 17, and Michael Patrick King is always, laughing about his semen being all over the place, and Miranda slipping around on it, which is so gross. Then we have to watch Lily on the toilet and imagine her putting a tampon in. Like, are you kidding me? What is with putting the minors in these scenes? Hey, Josh made a good point. We never get to see where Che goes to the bathroom. That's a scene I would like to see.
In the outhouse.
Where does she go? Where does Che go?
In the barn.
I agree with Lisa Delarada. She says, after listening to the Writers Room podcast, I think they are enjoying pissing us off. Yeah, they get off on it. Just like Samantha Irby is just, thrilled with talking about her diarrhea problem and her IBS.
Ugh. That's why there's so many fucking toilets.
Yeah. Yes. Samantha Irby wrote about how on a date, when she went out looking for a date, like to some club, she stuffed her face with purse tacos in a bathroom so no one would watch her eat. And then she wants to know why she has to take Imodium. Well, maybe you shouldn't eat tacos that have been sitting in your purse.
Ew.
Who puts tacos in their purse? Tacos, Mike. Tacos.
Oh my god.
Tacos.
That's so disgusting. But see, that I feel like this is what's happening in the entire world now, is that we're rearranging society to the whims of the most irrational, unwell people, to all of their phobias and antisocial behaviors.
And now, and this is so right on, Lisa. Now that the writers know what we feel, how we feel about it, they are doubling down. They are doing that. And yeah, Ben, you're the second person to bring up that scene in Bridesmaids where there's the pooping scene, which I almost turned that movie off because it was so bad. Where she has diarrhea in that dress in the middle of the street. I was so grossed out by that. Like, it was so bad. And like that is not something that women generally find funny. And I think that the men who find that funny are somewhat off about that. But like, that made me physically ill. And this has that same effect.
I think liberal women pretend that they find that shit funny. You know what I mean?
Why? For what purpose?
Because it's the same thing fucking Che is doing. It's like they try to recreate what their caricature of what they think men are. You know? Oh, men like poop jokes, so screw your gender stereotypes. I'm gonna be a man. I like poop now. Fuck off.
Lisa, are you asking if Mike's my husband? No, definitely not. Mike's not my husband.
I wish. We're girlfriends.
Yes. But no, my husband, the last thing he would ever do is watch this horrible show.
I'm Megan's mistress.
Oh God, I love you. I love that you're here. And I guess we should wrap it up because I was only supposed to keep you for an hour and we're headed to an hour and a half now. But this was so much fun. And we definitely have to do it again next week, right? You're gonna be here next week?
We definitely do.
Yeah, okay.
And awesome. I'm gonna do a 2-part video on my channel of the whole season because I feel like there's so much shit we didn't even get into. Like, can we talk about the fact? Did you see the card that Carrie found in Big? I don't want to say it on your channel, but did you see the card that Carrie found in Big's jacket pocket? What that was?
It was a picture. Wasn't it a picture of his dog?
No, but she also found a card that he got the injection.
No.
How did Big die again?
Oh my God. Are you serious? I never saw that.
Yeah, it was that same episode where she found the dog picture. She finds his.
Oh my God. Yeah, we can't say it or YouTube will demonetize me and kick us off. Oh my gosh.
I'm like, how did Big die again?
How did that happen? It looks like we're getting a solid thumbs up from the comments section. They want to hear this again.
I'm so glad.
Next week. And yeah, maybe. Not saying it, but maybe.
I'm going to change my name to Mike Ocarditis.
Oh gosh, you guys, this is so much fun. And you know what? The good news is I'm not going to wake up tomorrow with a hangover. I have cured the I'm not drunk. Yeah. So yay. All right.
Wearing girls' panties in that last one?
Yeah, she had her panties around her ankles. She was peeing into
what 5-year-olds wear.
I know.
With Princess Jasmine on it. Oh, thank you.
Oh, so fun. All right, everybody, take care.
Look at that comment.
Where I know they're crushing on you.
Thank you.
The comments are crushing on you. Oh, good. Make your list. Yeah.
I told you I'm overrated.
You're no, you're not. Yeah, please come back next week, same time, Thursday night, 9 p.m.
yeah.
We'll be here. When hopefully next time Mike will have some liquor on him because you
I
know
will. Oh, I'll need it.
you need to raid somebody's liquor cabinet. Have you made your mom watch the show yet?
Maybe next week. Let me know if you guys want. Maybe I'll bring her as a special guest for
Oh,
part
you
of
should
it. I've
totally
watched
bring your
every
mom.
episode with her, and if you think we are raging about it, you should hear from her.
I will absolutely link Mike's channel, and yeah, Mike's mom's a scream, and I bet she has a lot to say about this show.
Oh, does she ever?
Yeah, I'm gonna link Mike's channel in the description after we go off the air here. I will update it in the description so that you guys can go to it. So just check back in like, I don't know, a few minutes afterwards and you'll see it. But
Or
if you
just search my name.
if you search his name, Mike Harlow, on YouTube, it'll pop up. So until next week, darlings, we'll see you then. Thank you so much for being here. Drinks to everyone. Don't wake up with a hangover. Be a good parent, unlike me last week. Good night, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye.